Hey everybody, and welcome back to Superman Crypto. Your host Superman in the house. Another cool video with Zen. We're going to get into it. All the updates around FENIX and of course Zen Dodge is coming up. So stay tuned. Here is the price of Zen on Ethereum, and of course just cooled off here a little bit here, sitting at the 50 Fibonacci, and of course just around about 3,457. So cooled off a little bit yesterday with a bit of profit taking as we lead into the Polygon launch for FENIX. That is not launched yet, so that's coming up. We're going to talk about that in a second. We're so down 15.5% on the price. Still holding up pretty well, though. We are at the 50 Fibonacci because it's quite a steep rise, so that's kind of where we get to there. The orange line here is the Polygon launch that's coming up upon us in the future and within the next day. So we're going to talk about that. We've got 254 buys. 55% of the trades have been buys. And, of course, the sell volume there, 1.2 million versus 980,000, so 57% of the sell volume there. We got 1.9 million liquidity. So no reaction yet to Polygon launch coming up for FENIX, but we're watching that over the next 24 hours as the launch of FENIX does occur on Polygon. That gives us a little bit of gap, though, still got a gap between FENIX launching on Ethereum on the 13th of May. So just take into account that we want that sort of time squeeze there. But Polygon's going to be certainly a good, strong opener there to see signs of how it performs on that, which may or may not correlate or correspond to ETH launch, but definitely going to be a good early sign. So that is 14 days away for 2 weeks now down to FENIX, which is very important. The other thing, of course, is the big day on the 3rd of May. We've got the Federal Reserve with the interest rates. We'll see whether that's going to be the final one, whether they decide to tack on another one in June or something. We'll see. But hopefully the May would be the final one. We will see how hawkish or dovish they are. That's coming up next week too, so that's only a few days away. Take that into account. So that is the FENIX there. So that is kind of the summary. Let's jump over to Bizen. Bizen at the moment, I'm doing a little bit differently. Bizen is down 9.5%, and of course it's got a much more liquidity right on this one. Take into account. So that is where that is. In fact, I'm not sure if I got the right pair there, but that is Bizen. Let's have a look at see if I've got any other Bizens around. Bizen BNB. That's the 35k. So that is kind of the price line there. So it's big profit taking on that one today. So we'll jump past Bizen. Let's get into Jack Levin. We're going to talk about MZN later on, but let's get into Jack Levin's updates. Jack Levin says 2 hours ago doing final tests before Zen Night's distribution for the auction winners, which is pretty cool. They're going to have a lot of fun with that launch. So stay tuned for that. We'll get to see what all the 100 look like. We've seen about 10 or so, but it's going to be really bullish. Then 1 hour ago says many exciting Zen Boon projects are coming. You know what they are. So obviously we're covering them on this live stream. On this video. So it's going to be cool. So you can check that out. Nice. I'd like to just get into Joe Blau with FENIX. This is the big update. This is the big project launching imminently on Polygon. This was posted 5 hours by Joe Blau, the founder and creator. Everything looks good for tomorrow morning. The goal is to deploy the contract at 10 a.m. PT time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT time. There are only going to be 3 places to get legit information. Remember that. Always go to the official sources. It's going to be FENIX Protocol there on the Twitter, Telegram, FENIX Protocol, or Joe Blau himself here on Twitter. You can see the links there. So very important. So we're going to retweet that. I'll post the link to, obviously, well, I won't post the link, but you can get to Joe Blau in the video description and his official Twitter there, which is at Joe Blau, which is pretty cool. And don't forget to follow him on Twitter as well. So I think that was kind of cool. He also made a little update 3 hours ago. Per feedback, we added an info panel before you start your stake, so you'll know if your base stake will return your principal. This doesn't factor in future rewards or penalties. So they've made changes there. As you can see, projected return to FENIX. Your stake is projected to return your principal, but larger stakes in the pool may dilute your share. So that's kind of cool. I think that was it for he retweeted Jack's tweet there around the projects that are about to launch on Zen. And that's obviously FENIX could potentially be a major burner of Zen. So things could really start to party, particularly on Polygon. So let's have a look at the FENIX dApps. This is FENIX.FYI. This is the FENIX website. Now, obviously, this is a testnet website as well. We've covered that in the last couple of videos. But here is the wallet. And you can see that you got Polygon here. It's all queued up for the chain. FENIX runs on one chain. You can view the status of each chain below, and we're not expecting Ethereum to add on to here to the 13th, and then followed by BNB chain on the 21st, if I remember rightly, and then after that, the other chains later in the month. I think it's the 26th or something like that of May. So Polygon, they're inactive at the moment, but just to keep that website. Now, this website is in the video description, so you can watch this and also keep tabs on Joe Blau's official announcement there. You can obviously put the expected time launch into a countdown calculator on Google. You can do that too. And set that. So equity supply, the reward supply, share rates, all good, folks. This is on the dashboard page. And of course, you can go to the Boon. Once it's live, you can burn your Zen. Remember, this is going to be on Polygon, so you're going to need MZen. And of course, you can use bridges there like Swapspace, or probably more like PortalX or something like that might be able to get to that. So you have to find a bridge that does that if you're on the wrong bridge. So just make sure that. But there are much easier things, PortalX, Swapspace, things like that, that do cross-chain bridges. All right, so just make sure you're using the right chains and the right tokens as well. So here's MZen at the moment with Rapmatic. You can see liquidity 175K. Price is down 11.44% as we lead into the launch, which is ahead of us. We've got the launch day here. We're on launch day. It's coming up. And of course, we've got 899 buys, 495 sells. So certainly most trades still buys at 64%. But the sell volume there, just slightly bigger accounts selling into this at the moment. 193K versus 182K. So 52% slightly in favor of the sellers at the moment. Hence, we're down 11% there. But definitely it's the big day here. So we'll watch out, see how we go on the next few hours as we lead into the launch of the FENIX on Polygon. Big news there. Looking forward to exciting stuff with that. We'll monitor that tomorrow after it launches. I'll give a coverage of that. Looking at Zen Dodge, this is the other big one. Obviously, we've talked about this. Could launch, burn trillions and trillions. Something I think it was up to 17 trillion or so if it all got burned up. They're going to be on Crypto Kindness YouTube channel. They're going to be streaming on his channel tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So you can learn more about that on Crypto Kindness. What else they got here? Obviously with the Zen Dodge with the doggy as well. So that's coming out for Zen Dodge. But let's get into the supply numbers around Ethereum. So that's the news. Let's get the supply number. We've got 8.8 or just under 8.9 trillion here on the liquid supply. That's actually gone up. So that adds more sell pressure rather than reduces it. And of course, we've had the DBCN burn just taper off down to that 40-50 billion, as opposed to like 100 billion or more, which is where we need it to be to get this pressure off the market, for example. So we got, but the good news is that we got increased staking is gone to 1.6 billion. So either you can take your liquid supply and you can stake it, or you can hold it, or you can burn it or sell it, right? You got 4 options there. So, there we are, 1.6 trillion. That's definitely gone back over 1.6, which is nice to see. But the liquid supply is still on the higher side there. Let's go down to the added supply here. Now, remember, this Zen Turbo was offline yesterday because it was being changed to server because of all the demand on it, and of course the new features. So they've moved it to a new server. It's definitely running a lot smoother since they upgraded that switch, made that switch. The 28th. So yeah, we had quite a few days of increased supply. Look at that. See, so this downward price, it's upwards. Downward price pressure from that. But yesterday we did get a good day. On the 27th we got a good day. We got 47 billion stake, 9 billion burned, and we had negative 25 billion on liquidity. So we want to see more of that, right? We want to see more of these negative days to get that upward pressure for Zen. But we've got these protocols coming, FENIX and Zen Dodge and a few others, so it's going to be cool. Now, on the 28th there, we had 28 billion staked, 39 billion burned, but with the next new mints, we're still up 17 billion on that day. So that's added to supply. So you can sort of see why, the price pressure is under pressure with that supply. That's why we kind of watch this supply. Now, looking at the good news, though, the good news is that the total, even with new mints, these liquid supply is at 56.7%. So we are heading down towards 50%. So it's still going pretty well if you think about it. Looking at the trends, of course, on the burns are still up and to the right. You can sort of see the burn there continue to go. Staking has been a little bit flatter, but it's still moving slowly up to the right there on that one. So let's have a look at future mints. As you guys know, we kind of look at the next 7 days. We've had the first big candle out yesterday. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was 111 billion. I didn't look at it yesterday, so I can't remember. It was it was lower than 143, something like 111 or something. And then, of course, today it's around 143 coming out. That's in front of us. So we have a big candle coming out of us and leading into the weekend. And so that's important to remember. And so we have to absorb these 2 days in front of us. So that's a lot more supply coming. And we would have to have pretty good burning through DBZN on the ETH chain, because this is not going to impact the, FENIX is on the Polygon chain, so it's not going to impact that. But next week we get down to relatively modest next 5 days ahead of us, which is kind of cool. That should take off some of that selling pressure as we lead into next week. But we do have to absorb the big one candles coming out this weekend. And we'll see whether that much, if we get lower gas and we get a lot of DBZN burn, that might eat up quite a lot of that sell pressure over the next 30 days. Of course, we've got a good window of opportunity all the way up to the 13th here. This is when we get FENIX launching on the Ethereum chain, and that means we're going to be able to hopefully absorb some of these big 2 candles that are coming out. So we've got the 334 billion and the 324 billion there on the 14th and 18th of May. But we have the Zen FENIX protocol launching on Ethereum, just perfectly timed, no doubt, for that. And let's see how much this volume goes into that market. Now, looking at 90 days, you can see that those 2 candles are pretty significant because the rest of the candles are pretty normal all the way through to July before we get that one big candle there. So, yeah, this is the hurdle, but we've got FENIX just perfectly timed. That's what you like to see. So we'll keep monitoring that. That is the things to look out for, right? That's why I'm pointing them out. Very, very cool. All right. Looking at in terms of minting, you can mint. Gas price is obviously high, so you are paying a higher mint cost than previously. But minting is definitely in play. Let's go to the mint monitor, see how many people are minting in the last 24 hours, just as a FYI. We're up to 11.7 million on the global rank for Ethereum, and we've had 65,000 mint over the last 24 hours, which is not too bad. It's not 20, on the low side. It's not 10 on the low side, and it's not on the higher side, the 120. It's sitting there in the middle there, so it's not too bad at the moment. And the Gwei's showing up at 35 as we speak. So that's kind of cool. Let's jump over to some bigger updates here on DBZN. So Joseph, who does the Zen.pub website, which is the other big website that we use. We use Zen Turbo and the Zen Pub for data. And he said that Zen, Arbitrum, and Optimism testnet stats are on Zen Pub, obviously, which that is on testnet now for Zen, which is layer 2 chains, bullish there for as well. So that's in the mix as well. Let's not forget about that. We talked about that yesterday. So going to Zen Pub, let's have a look at the burn for DBZN, which has been the big burner, at least until FENIX is coming up, and then Zen Dodge as well. So we've got some big protocols coming up for the burn. Let's go to DBZN on ETH. And let's go down to the burn for yesterday or 2 days. So, yeah, we've had this downtrend in the Zen burn. Like I say, we've been 40 to 50 billion. And yesterday we were at 36.33 billion. So this, you got a lot more mints coming out, low burn. So that's just not great for the Zen price. No wonder we've had a little bit of down pressure for the Zen price. But we do have the FENIX protocol and Zen Dodge coming up. So that's kind of cool too. So that is the mark there. Staking for Dxn has continued to go up, and reward claims have been relatively low on Dxn, so less pressure there on Dxn. That's kind of the play. I haven't covered Dxn price or Xlon today, but we'll just miss those for the time being. And of course, the current cycle at the moment, 1.2 billion burn through DBZN today. And of course, this is our big downward pressure, upward pressure for price if this is high. We've got 13 hours to go for this. What do we got in the auction today? The auction there. So let me just jump through to that. We've had 2,741 unique minters in this. Yeah, the reward in the auction today, 9,287 Dxn. That's what's up for grabs. People are vying for. It's going down by 0.2% a day. Remember, there's only ever going to be 5 million Dxn tokens. Let's have a look at the leaderboard at the moment. Yeah, pretty slow. 500 million at the moment on the Zen burn. 33 Gwei's. You can sort of see the Gwei's that people are getting in. The lower the better, right? That's your strategy. The lower the better. And of course, down days on Dxn. Still relatively early for this protocol. And if you've seen protocols like this before, then they normally run pretty well for 2 months, 3 months. Sometimes they can go as long as 6 months. Yeah, it's still relatively early from that point of view. Still in the second month, beginning of the second month there. 33, 35. And of course, you can see the reward's huge at the moment. So they've only spent like $6,000 here, but they're expecting a reward of 89,000. So that's going to get arbitraged away, no doubt. So that's interesting. So look at the Zen DXN price here. It's at $33.52. You can see on the chart here, it is down 15% as well on the 24 hours. And you can see the volume there too. Still 571,000 liquidity for DXN. So pretty good. All right, let's jump over to the final one there. Let's have a quick look at the Dxn Boon. Let's have a look at the Dxn Boon totals here. We can see how everything is going. Let's wait for that to upgrade. Hopefully it's going to update. Wait for that. This is taking a little while to go through. Oh, there we go. We're finally getting there. And let's go down to Ethereum. We can see that our burns yesterday, we're getting a little bit of burn, about 1 billion burn through the Zen NFTs between the 27th and 28th. But most of it, the Zen there is burn is about 33 billion through that. So pretty low day on the burn. But definitely we'll keep looking out for that. And we've got FENIX and Zen Dodge coming up too. So a lot of competition for the Zen there on Ethereum. So kind of cool. 2 weeks till FENIX. The price at the moment, we're getting a little green day here, a little bit of recovery, bouncing off the 50 or so on the Fibonacci. So not too bad there at all. Hope you guys enjoyed that coverage. Stay tuned. Of course, FENIX is going to be launching on Polygon within the next wee while, a few hours away. Keep a tab on that, of course. And there is the hourly times there for that is down here, 10 a.m. PT, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT. So keep a track out on that, and you'll be up to date. I'll probably be asleep at that time, so I won't be able to cover it live, but keep a track yourself there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, like your comments, get in there, and I'll respond. Catch you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.